Hello, everyone. Welcome in Fantasy Life right here on Sirius XM Fantasy Sports Radio. You know the drill by now. Kendall, Valenzuela, Adam, Ronis with you for the next couple of hours, breaking down everything you need to know. Week 15, the fantasy playoffs are here. You've made it. We've got Thursday night football tonight. So, of course, we're going to be breaking down that action as well, but going through rankings, risers, and fallers, going to go through the trust meter, everything in between. Adam, happy Thursday. How's it going?
It's going well. We are here week 15, first week of the fantasy football playoffs for most leagues. So got to get those W's and get off to a nice start.
Ugh, isn't it the worst? First round exits. It's just,
yeah, I don't want to think about that because that is the worst.
Well, it is the worst. Or what's worse to you, a first round exit or when you get the bye and then exit in the first game you play? Might be
probably, yeah, getting the bye week where your team goes off.
Oh, the worst feeling in the world.
And then you come back the next week and lose. That is the worst.
Oh, when you see all those points added up and you say, if I played today, I would have beat X, every single one of my league mates in the playoffs. There's no, yeah.
It tends to happen a lot.
That happens to me. You won't see me. So that would be week 17, 16, whatever that is. Just Monday, I won't be here. It is the worst. Or even, yeah. Or the one I said last week was that I had a team that went absolutely off. And I fear that was the one that I wanted to happen this week because I don't have a bye in that specific league. And they got, I think it was 158 points that last week. So I just fear that that's not going to come together again. But we have to be positive.
Yes, we do. And
yes, we do.
It now an element of luck becomes a factor because who do you play? That's a big deal. Like, who do you play, right? You might get a favorable matchup where a team doesn't do much, a team struggling, dealing with injuries, or going against a hot team that's just on a roll and everything's clicking for them. So getting the right matchups is also key in the fantasy football playoffs.
I don't think I've ever had more questions, though, than Mike Evans this week, which I think it's fair, right? Because, and again, we can do it right now. We're going to do it later in the show as well. But that game is tonight. Mike Evans is back. But I don't know, Adam. I don't know how many questions you've gotten about him, but every other one of my start sit questions this week has been centered around Mike Evans. And do I start him? Where is he in the rankings? What are our expectations with Egbuka? And so I think I'm on the side right now where if you go look at our rankings, this game is against Atlanta. Since week 10, Atlanta has allowed the second most PPR points per target and the third most receiving yards per game to perimeter, not wide receivers as a whole, but perimeter wide receivers. So I think Evans right now, when I look at him, is a very strong flex. It just depends on who you have. It's not as fun of an answer, but you can go to fantasylife.com, see our rankings. And I think he has upside, but my fear is that he's limited. But what is a limited Mike Evans? What could he bring you? That's the big question.
Yeah, I'm sure he's going to be on a snap count, but that means he's likely coming out for running plays, which is fine, right? I don't need him on the field blocking. I'm not getting any points for that. So also, I think in high leverage situations, he'll be on the field, whether it's third and long or inside the 20. Obviously, Baker Mayfield has struggled, and this passing game has struggled, and getting that big target like Mike Evans back will certainly help. So I think in a lot of situations, you're likely going to play him. I know it's difficult first week of fantasy football playoffs, and there's some question marks on how he's going to be used. But if they're bringing him back and they feel confident that he's going to get through this game, then I think he's going to get enough targets to produce for fantasy. I mean, we did see in the first 3 weeks that he played of the season, he had a 27.3% target share. So he's going to get the red zone targets. They might try a couple of passes to him deep. And you mentioned Atlanta struggling against receivers. So, I think in a lot of situations, you're going to play him. I have him in one league, and I am going to start him.
I am too, but that league doesn't count because I don't have better, that is my best. I've been waiting for Mike Evans to return. That's how down bad I've been in one of those leagues. So he's definitely getting the start. I quickly put him into the starting lineup once they announced him coming back. But you said it, Baker Mayfield also just has not been good. I mean, we can look at all the stats, Adam, and he's just been struggling. He's the QB 31 in fantasy points per game since week 7. You look at the yards per attempt. You look at the passing yards per game. We've talked about the accurate throw throw rate, everything in between there has just not been what we've seen before from Baker Mayfield. So of course, this could be one of those I don't want to say get right games, but this could be one where we do see a little bit better version of Baker Mayfield. And we haven't seen Godwin, Egbuka, and Mike Evans on the field at the same time this whole year. So that's the other kind of not caveat, but that's the other thing I'm looking at here is just what do these three look like? Because this is the first time, which is kind of crazy, but I guess with the Chris Godwin injury to start the year, then Mike Evans went down. Egbuka has been the only guy that's been able to be a little bit stable. So you haven't seen all three of them together yet, but yeah, I think Mike Evans again, I have him. I think he gives us wide receiver 2 upside. And I think if you have him, just depending on, unless you picked up someone fantastic, right? Michael Wilson, maybe if Marvin Harrison Jr. isn't back, maybe you were able to pick him up. Jacoby Meyers has been looking good. But there's a lot of cases where you're probably going to start him.
Yeah, I think so too. The not having all three together this year is crazy.
I know.
And it certainly will help Baker Mayfield. But I still think he's playing through injury because he has not looked right. He's been off target on his throws. So I think he's trying to fight through an injury here. But having Evans back and having this trio of receivers is big. They will be without Cade Otton. That's not a massive deal. Definitely not for fantasy. And we've seen Otton really only benefit when 2 of those receivers are out. Then it forces targets to him. So having him out might open it up that all 3 receivers can be productive if Tampa can put up a good offensive performance tonight.
And let's see Bucky Irving again, right? That was the other part of their game when he was able to return. We said, okay, what's he actually going to look like? Like, what's a Bucky Irving role going to be? And he, he looked good. He averaged 15 rushing attempts, 2 targets in the game since his return, 16.1 fantasy points per game, good 70 utilization score. So it's been good. There's a chance here for them to be good down the stretch.
He did come out of the game a little bit last week, and he played the same amount of snaps as Rachaad White. They were both at 49%, but the volume's been there in the 2 games that he's been back. Like I said, if they're going to just take him out on passing plays, that's fine. But he has 19 touches and 17 touches in his first 2 games back, despite playing 52 and 49% of the snaps. So you hope it increases. Maybe it doesn't on a short week, but the volume has been there. He's gotten a receiving touchdown, a rushing touchdown, so you're starting him. But the efficiency hasn't been there too, and maybe he's missed so much time that's a factor. But it doesn't look the same as last year. We haven't seen that burst yet.
This is about the time though. Week 16 through the wild card, he was averaging 18.5 points per game. Obviously, with not the injury that he had this year though, so it's different.
Yeah, because he missed, about 2 months? So that's a long time.
A long time.
So hopefully...
It felt longer than that.
Yeah, hopefully he gets going here in the fantasy playoffs and puts up some good numbers. Again, he's been fine the first 2 weeks, getting a touchdown in each game, and been involved in the passing game too. So you want to see that continue here tonight.
Please, just give us fantasy goodness tonight. Wouldn't that be an amazing way to start the week? You just get, we'll take, 18 from Mike Evans, a solid 15 from Emeka Egbuka, maybe another 15 from Bucky. We can all feast here, right? Bijan.
Yeah,
let's come on.
Let's hope. Obviously, the Falcons' offense is not something we're counting on outside of Bijan Robinson and Kyle Pitts, who is listed as questionable, but seems like he'll play. And it is a divisional game, so those things sometimes lead to weird results. We don't have to worry about weather in this game. It'll be around 58 in Tampa. So
lovely.
Let's hope, because Tampa really needs to start playing better because they have really been bad now for a decent stretch, and they still are tied for first here with Carolina. So they need this game tonight in a division where everyone has a negative differential.
Perfect. Don't you wish the Cowboys were down there? That'd be nice.
Yeah, definitely would help. They'd definitely have a much better shot to make the playoffs.
Oh, my goodness. Well, let's see. Falcons, again, have allowed the most schedule-adjusted wide receiver fantasy points over the past 5 weeks. So if you're looking at those wide receivers, we understand there's going to be a lot of Mike Evans questions today. You can send those in at Valenzuela17, at Adam Ronis over there on X. You can also, when we open up the phone lines, call us in towards the water cooler, and we'll try and answer as many questions throughout the show today as we can, because I think there's going to be a lot here, Adam. Another piece of news is that Jayden Daniels is going to be out for the Washington Commanders going up against the Giants with that elbow. re-injury. So same injury that we saw that has kept him out before. And he in that, so it was the 31-0 loss against the Minnesota Vikings, which I still shake my head because I don't think that should have happened. But he landed hard on that left elbow, which was dislocated week 9. So he re-injured that left elbow. Dan Quinn said he could have returned in that game, but because of the score, I think it was 17-0 when he went down, that they didn't want him to go back out there. So this will be the 7th game that Jayden Daniels has missed because of injury this season. We get Marcus Mariota back in there. And so Marcus Mariota, I will say, I hope no one has to stream this week, but if you do, he was still giving you fantasy points on the ground. He was, running a little bit. And so what do you see, first of all, with this, with Terry McLaurin, Deebo Samuel?
Yeah, I'm fine with Mariota. We've seen him start this year and have a few games where he was a QB1. We know he's going to run, and it's a good matchup here against the Giants. So you could definitely run on the Giants, that's for sure, but it's not a good defense. So he definitely is a streamer this week. Like you said, you should be okay, but
yeah, I hope so.
Maybe there are scenarios where people, counted on Jayden Daniels being back, and we're rolling with him. But if Mariota's there, you can play him. And yeah, I think you could look at the McLaurin as well.
He's been good in his 2 games since he returned.
Yeah, the first game back, he was really good against Denver. And obviously last week the offense struggled. But Giants are susceptible to the deep ball. We know McLaurin can get deep. So yeah, I think McLaurin is someone you could start this week.
9.5 targets in those 2 games, 2 end zone targets, 134.5 air yards per game as well. And he's averaging 14.9 fantasy points over the last 2. So again, this is a Giants defense where we say, stinks with Jayden Daniels, and that does stink at him. Where was he going in drafts? Was he QB 5, 4 off the board?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was anywhere from 3 to 5. Yeah,
that's
he was the
brutal.
third to 5th quarterback off the board.
The injuries have just taken him out this season. So again, like you said, hopefully no one needs to do this. But if you had Jayden Daniels, I'm sure you held on to a quarterback just in case, because it has been an injury-riddled season for him. They have no Zach Ertz. Just remember that too, out for the year with the ACL tear. So I think McLaurin and Deebo Samuel, right? Is Deebo Samuel someone that you're looking at in this game because of the matchup and saying, you know what, he's someone that could be startable depending on who you have on your roster?
Yeah, I know he's been disappointing this year, but again, in this matchup, I think you can go in that direction depending on who else you have. But many weeks we have not felt confident about them, but in this matchup, I think you can look at both receivers here. I mean, the total is 47.5. I mean, Giants Commanders 47.5.
All right. Well, and they give up the Giants give up the number 9 fantasy boost to wide receiver rooms, and they've given up also 2.5 passing touchdowns per game over the last 4 weeks. So hasn't looked very good. Maybe it changes going into this week, but I don't think we need to hold our breath on that one, Adam. So again, Jayden Daniels going to be out this week. It's going to be Marcus Mariota getting that start, and then the other one, it looks like Geno Smith is unlikely to start, not officially out yet, but for the Raiders, Geno Smith potentially going to be out with that shoulder injury going up against the Eagles. So this would mean it's Kenny Pickett, and we're not saying go pick up Kenny Pickett everywhere.
That's what I heard you say, but
what? No, get out of here. Stop. Stop. Kenny Pickett getting the start though. I don't even, it's too early to be messing with me. I haven't even had my coffee yet. I don't know what to say.
Perfect time.
Just don't ask me about, Mac Jones, any Jones questions. We're not doing that this early. Kenny Pickett though, in line, it looks like, to get the start against the Eagles. How much Geno Smith hasn't played well, but you at least know that when you look at one tight end in Brock Bowers, that you were going to get the bulk of the targets. Are you downgrading him that much with Kenny Pickett in there?
No, I mean, it's been a struggle for this offense all year long. So it's a Pickett revenge game too. So you got to factor that in.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. So
was he with them last year? Yes, he was. Did we see him at the Super Bowl?
I don't remember seeing him.
Ah.
But yeah, I think Bowers you're going to start him. I mean, Genty, you've been starting. You understand that it's going to be a struggle for him because they cannot run the football
Their offensive
behind that
line is
offensive line.
awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So much of his production recently has come in the passing game. I mean, his target share has gone up over the last few games, and he's been catching 5-6 passes, especially as they play from behind. But yeah, those are the only two. We have seen Jack Besh get more involved in offense, but I think that's more for deeper leagues, or maybe you stash him. I mean, I can't start that guy, but we did see him. Yeah, we did see him get involved. And obviously the Philly defense is in a great spot here. We saw them last week pile up the sacks and get the pressure on Herbert. So they're definitely someone you want to start this week against this Vegas offense.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I don't know, I'm hoping Kenny Pickett can somehow get them a win over Philly.
I mean, sometimes a little change.
I mean, right? Philly, look, maybe Philly's spiral continues.
Oh, could you imagine?
That would be great if they lost to Vegas.
Oh, that'd be horrible. What's the total? I mean, they have to be. Are they?
Philly's favored by 11.5, and the total's 38.5.
It's not a fun. That's not a fun.
Well, because they figure Vegas is not going to score. They have to probably have one of the
one to Brock Bowers. That's all we need, and Genty actually. So let's get 2 in there. What's their team total then?
It's got to be low. It's got to be like 13.5 is my guess.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
I don't know for sure. I didn't see it.
It's not like, though, Geno Smith has been amazing this year. I don't know if they don't look at this season and go a different direction next year, even though they gave him that contract.
I mean, he's taken a beating behind that offensive line. I mean, there are games that he should have been out of, and he's wound up staying in the game.
Yeah. Where do you think Genty goes next year in drafts? I mean, he's not a first.
No, he will not go in the first round.
But is it going to be a value thing where you say, okay, if they fix the offensive line a little bit and he's going in the middle of the second round, I might do that.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, a lot's going to depend what they do in the offseason, because clearly that offensive line is absolutely horrendous.
Horrible. Yeah, like I say, could it get worse? Probably, but we don't want to see that. So again, Kenny Pickett looking like not official yet, but he looks like he might get the start because Geno Smith is unlikely to play going up against the Eagles. That's on Sunday with that shoulder injury. And then we have Jayden Daniels out versus the Giants already. So just make sure you make moves accordingly if you have either of those two quarterbacks. I hope you don't. Do you have Geno? No. Super flex?
Come on. I mean,
I
do have bad super flex quarterback. Look, I'm in the playoffs with Bryce Young, Shedeur Sanders, and Tyler Shuck. So let's go.
You can't get mad at me for asking if you had Geno. Those three? Come on. What are we doing here? Rankings, risers, and fallers. We're going to go through the risers going into week 15. Some guys that maybe you should downgrade going into this weekend as well. We're breaking it down here next. Oh, yeah, Adam. Get pumped. Are you ready to go? Vibes are immaculate. Thursday morning. People going into work. Well, no, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, people are at work on the East Coast, going into work on the West Coast. I don't know what everyone.
Now, some people don't work, so maybe there's.
Okay, well then people are hanging out, enjoying their Christmas tree, making cookies. I don't know what they're doing.
Making cookies.
I made cookies last night. What do you
mean?
Well,
you work. I think people who don't work are not making cookies.
Okay, I don't know what they're doing. They're enjoying our show,
nothing.
Though.
Yeah, they're listening to our show.
Listen to Adam. Jeez, God, you sound like the Grinch. What are you doing? They're enjoying the show, though. How's that?
Yes, hopefully they are.
Sitting around. I did make cookies last night. So good. By the way, you're not chocolate chip, please.
No peanut butter cookies? What's up?
No, sorry. I would have sent those to you, though. I don't do peanut butter cookies. Now, sugar cookies, so good. Cinnamon sugar cookies, yum, right?
Chocolate chip better.
I agree. I think chocolate chip's at the top. By the way, you're not TikTok. Are you on TikTok?
I am. Yeah.
Okay. Are you following Bakemas with with Baker Mayfield's wife, with Drake May's wife?
No.
Oh, you should give her a follow. She's doing Bakemas, so she's baking things for us every single day. It's great.
Okay. Well, hopefully that helps Drake have a big fantasy performance in the playoffs.
I think that's why it's been happening. His wife is awesome, and Michael May. She's great.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're picking up pointers and using it for yourself?
Yesterday she made, yesterday or a couple days ago, I think she made the chocolate peppermint bark. I was like, okay, I take notes for sure. Because then
also, where do you rate yourself as a cook? 1 to 10?
Probably like a 7.
Okay, that's not bad.
I'm pretty good with what I know and like to cook. I like to try
Okay.
new things. Sometimes they don't come out great. The first time you gotta
Yeah, I
try them.
know. I rate
You gotta
myself a
try it.
10, but I don't like to
Yeah,
brag.
right. The guy that didn't even know what kind of broccoli he liked to make it because doesn't cook it. Please give me a break. When I was nervous about the Mariners going in that playoff game, in that game 7, I made a 3-tiered chocolate cake just to kill some time, and it didn't
Oh,
work. So
during the game.
no, before, because that
Oh,
game was
okay.
later in the afternoon,
Okay.
evening. So I just couldn't do it. Ugh. Anyway, what are we doing? Not Bakemas. Maybe later. Maybe we'll bake some cookies or something. Rankings, risers, and fallers. That's what we're doing here. Going through the risers going into week 15, going through some of the fallers as well. I think, this we don't have to stay on Lamar long, but he is one that we always talk about week in and week out, especially with the down games that he's given us. He joined us back in the top 6 of our rankings. Again, you can find those at fantasylife.com. Make sure you go and check those out. And while you're there, sign up for that Fantasy Life newsletter. But he is consensus QB6 going up against the Bengals. What could go wrong, Adam? At least he showed it to us last week, that he was able to, run. We saw him run on the ground a little bit more, and it was good to see 22.1 fantasy points going up against the Steelers. 7 rushing attempts. That was the second highest mark of the season. 46 rushing yards and a touchdown. So at least we saw it, right? Because this would be absolutely brutal if he went up against the Steelers, didn't put up a performance, and then came against the Bengals, who we know they can be scored on.
Yeah, and we did see him face the Bengals 2 weeks ago. Now, the final stat line was not great. 246 passing yards, no touchdowns, 1 interception, 6 carries for 27 yards, but he had that play where likely dropped the ball, got stripped right before scoring, and Zay Flowers got called for the offensive pass interference on what would have been a touchdown. So it could have been a lot better.
Yeah.
It is a matchup that he could take advantage of. As long as he continues to look at the tight ends, then he should be fine. Because in that game, Isaiah Likely and Mark Andrews combined for 9 receptions and 142 yards.
Yeah. Start both of those guys, right? You're starting Isaiah.
Yeah, I think you can.
Isaiah Likely, I mean, he is my tight end 11 this week. So
I think he's a good start.
If you've been streaming and you're looking for a streamable tight end, look no further than Isaiah Likely. I think everyone else is, he's up there. Again, you don't want to be disappointed, but Mark Andrews obviously up there as well. So I think those are 2 really good options. And like you said about Lamar, I mean, the Bengals have given us the number 2 fantasy boost to quarterbacks this year. 5.2 points per game is what we're looking at. So Xfinity Best, that's the ceiling projections that you can find at fantasylife.com. 25.8 fantasy points from Lamar Jackson. The median, which we still love, is 19.3. And the floor, we're still okay with it, Adam, because it's sitting at 15. So I think he obviously carries more risk than what we've seen in the past, just because of what he hasn't given us this season. There is a little bit of risk, but QB6, I feel like that feels right. Because we can't start the fantasy playoffs off with a bad Lamar Jackson game. Could we? No.
It's possible. We've seen it many times. But yes, I think in this situation, if you've made it this far with Lamar Jackson, because it's definitely been a bumpy ride, then this is a matchup that you do expect him to produce. And we also have some quarterbacks with tough matchups this week. So it's tough to push him down even further.
Yeah. Jackson Dart with the Giants. That's a good matchup. If we're talking about better than what we've seen. He's averaged 21.5 points in 7 games where we've seen him play at least 75% of the snaps, because some of those, skew a little bit because he's gotten, a little bit beaten up and injured. But in those games, 14% of the designed rush attempts. But here's the thing, Adam. In the last game, we saw 0. He did not have 1. And that's something that we talked about when Daboll was fired, when he at one point during the season had the most designed rush attempts for quarterbacks in the league. That's after he didn't even get the start until week 4. So we knew it was going to come down. I guess I expected 1 or 2. I didn't expect 0. So that obviously kind of hits what he could bring us in fantasy, because if he's not running on the ground, he needs to get it done through the air, which I think he can do with Wan'Dale Robinson. But you just have to lower your expectations if he's not going to do that.
Yeah, and I think we're going to say that in many matchups with Dart, because if he's not running, it's a problem. And we saw in that last game, as you said, no design runs, only 4 carries for 20 yards, but he didn't pass much. But they just got destroyed by New England on the road. This is a way better spot here against Washington. Dart could actually exploit them via the pass. They just don't get pressure on the quarterback, and they've been susceptible to big plays in the secondary. So this is a spot where Dart can't come through. And maybe he gives you 20, 30 rushing yards. So, yeah, I think Dart is actually in the top 12 quarterbacks this week.
I have him. Yeah, I've got him at QB 10. So if you're looking around and you're thinking to yourself, well, maybe I should be playing Jackson Dart. Maybe you had, I don't know, Jayden Daniels. Maybe you're looking around. I mean, he's up there. Patrick Mahomes, I have ahead of him going up against the Chargers. Dak ahead of him. And I might switch this, but I do right now have Brock Purdy ahead of him going up against Tennessee. I don't know. I might switch the two. That's, just by one in the rankings, but that's what I'm looking at. Even though we brought his designed attempts down in the projections, fantasylife.com for those, he's still projected for 17.9 points median. Xfinity best 24.3 ceiling going up against the Commanders defense. Because again, they've given up the 5th best fantasy boost to quarterbacks, 3.3 points per game. So that's also another matchup that you like.
Yeah, Purdy obviously has struggled a little bit, but this is a really good matchup for him. So the Titans have allowed the most passing yards per game. So this should be a week that Purdy goes off.
And Jawan Jennings, please.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't that be nice?
No, because I don't.
Well,
have
you have Ricky. You have Ricky Pearsall.
Yeah, I got Ricky Pearsall, and that has not gone well. I don't know what's going on with that.
No. I don't. It's not. Well, I don't know. Jennings is tied with Kittle for the team lead in target share over the last 4 games, 25%. This is one of those games.
I'll take a massive George Kittle game. That would be nice.
Amazing. Could we do both? How about all 3? So it's George Kittle, Jawan Jennings, and Christian McCaffrey. I think we'll be fine with that. And Brock if people need Brock.
No? Let's replace Pearsall for Jennings.
No,
But then again, I don't think I'll be starting Pearsall anyway.
I was going to say at this point, I don't think anyone can start Ricky Pearsall.
So this will be the week he scores.
Stop. Why would you? Don't put that out there. We're trying to have
because no one's going to play him.
Week 15. Okay. No, he's not going to. Well, then Jawan Jennings can as well. He's averaged 13.9 fantasy points. Jawan Jennings has. I feel like that's quietly too. We've talked about him, but
it has been kind of quiet, for sure. But he has definitely become a fixture in that passing game, and we were worried about that with Ricky Pearsall back, but Pearsall just has not been a big factor so far.
When Jennings looks healthy, I think he's a borderline wide receiver too. That's where at least I have him in the rankings going into this week, but could be one that steps up and you feel good about it. We talked about Terry McLaurin. Last one here, Rhamondre Stevenson for the Patriots. Rankings rise or fall, or what are you expecting from him? Because we're going to talk about Travion Henderson, and I still hold out. I still in the back of my mind, Adam, think, okay, it's still Mike Vrabel. What if we go back to a split? What if we see more Rhamondre Stevenson? That's the only thing that I look at here. Buffalo has given up the 6th best fantasy boost to running backs, 2.4 points per game. I have him as a RB3.
Yeah, look, Stevenson is tough because we saw that last game that Stevenson played 60.3% of the snaps. He had 15 touches. So, and the red zone work was kind of split with Henderson. So we all want Henderson to have this bigger workload, and it looked like we're heading that direction with that first game back with Stevenson, and then it went in the other direction. So it is a good matchup here. You can run on Buffalo. So I guess Stevenson does have to be like a high RB3, but you hate seeing this if you have Travion Henderson.
Could we not just have, could both not feast? No, I know they can't. That doesn't happen with these 2-headed monster backfields, but Stevenson's in play. Even when you look at, so Matthew Friedman does his model Fantasy Life as well. He has the Patriots as a 4-star bet to cover against the Bills. Good team total sitting at 25. I believe it was 25.5 or the last time I looked. So Xfinity best ceiling is 16.4. Not necessarily amazing. 10.5 with the median, but I think Rhamondre Stevenson definitely someone that's still in play. At K Valenzuela 17, at Adam Ronis over there on X, I see a ton of questions coming in. So we're going to start to get to these, go through as many as we can. I see one here from Wes Adams, since we talked about Terry McLaurin and Mike Evans. Start two of these four wide receivers. Mike Evans, George Pickens, Terry McLaurin, Kayshon Boutte. Puka is my number one. George Pickens is obviously up there.
Yeah, Pickens. Hopefully he stops jogging this week and actually runs his routes.
Yeah, that was bad. Oh, I forgot about that.
So I would go Pickens and McLaurin.
Yeah, he's just in a nice matchup. And I know that people might look at Marcus Mariota and say, oh, okay, that's a downgrade. I've got him as my wide receiver 16, though. And that is ahead of one Mike Evans. So I agree with you. George Pickens, Terry McLaurin there. Appreciate you, Wes, for sending that in. At K Valenzuela 17, at Adam Ronis over there on X. We're going to continue going through some of these rankings, risers and fallers, and your questions, but we've got the biggest week 15 questions that we are going to try and answer. Some of our final thoughts on Phillip Rivers, what this does to the offense, looking at Mike Evans one more time, Sam Darnold, what's he going to look like in the playoffs? We're going to break it down here coming up next. All right, welcome in Fantasy Life right here, Sirius XM Fantasy Sports Radio, getting you ready for all things Week 15 across the NFL. The biggest questions that we have, Adam, going into Week 15, and the biggest questions that I see over on X as well. A lot of Mike Evans questions, some Justin Jefferson questions, if you would like to dive into that as well. I see one here from Mike saying, just what should I do about Justin Jefferson? I'm in the playoffs despite him. And so I think that's where a lot of people might be at. Like if you're playing this weekend and you're in the fantasy playoffs and you have Justin Jefferson, it's not been because of him, like Mike just said here. So it's been tough. 15 scoreless yards over the past 2 games, including that game. And this is where it gets really, for me, Adam, where I just don't know if I can see the light at the end of the tunnel, because you saw JJ McCarthy's best game of the season last week, and Minnesota scored 31 points, and Justin Jefferson did not get any of that. So in a perfect world, I would love to say, like, yes, finally we saw a good game from JJ McCarthy. Now we can start Justin Jefferson, or at least feel a little bit better about it. But I might be on the outside with Justin Jefferson and say, if you made it this far and you're in the playoffs, you might want to go a different direction. And then the other side, Adam, is that they are playing the Dallas Cowboys. So there is a chance that you can put up some more, that JJ McCarthy could still have a good game, put up those points, and maybe Justin Jefferson is on the receiving end of it. I still, though, have him as my wide receiver 24 this week.
Yeah, which means you're starting him. I think you are. I think he's a wide receiver too. I'd probably have him a little bit higher, but it is a good matchup here against Dallas. You got to think at some point they're saying, hey, get Justin Jefferson the football. So look, in 7 games with McCarthy, the target share for Jefferson is 29.1%. So he is getting the football in his direction. I know not the last couple games. It has been pretty bad, but I think this matchup here against Dallas can get him going a little bit. Last week, McCarthy didn't put the ball in the air a lot. You still expected with a game where he threw 3 touchdowns, you'd figure, all right, Jefferson scored 1, right?
Wrong.
No, didn't happen. But at least I think that's a game that at least gets his confidence going in the right direction. You needed that because it was brutal. Obviously, he's hearing a lot of the criticism, and the team has not been winning games. So they got a nice, easy win. He only completed 16 passes because he only attempted 23. But if you think Dallas's offense is going to put up points here, that's going to force McCarthy to throw more. Maybe we get a game where he puts up 30, 35 passes if they can keep up with the Cowboys offense. So yeah, I think you're playing Jefferson. I understand it's been really frustrating. I don't have him, so maybe I can't speak to the level for those that have him. But if you are alive here in the playoffs, he could finish strong. And you might look back on this season and go, boy, what a terrible time it was drafting Justin Jefferson. He actually might help you win a championship when you look at this schedule with Dallas this week, then the Giants, and then the Lions indoors at home. So the only one game where you might have to worry about whether that's against the Giants in week 16. But what's the worst? It's probably like 30 degrees, maybe some winds.
Yeah.
But this is a good schedule here for Jefferson, so he could easily make it up for fantasy managers by having a 3-week finish to help him win a championship.
And then people forget all about what he's done or what he has
Yeah,
done
it's
for you
easy.
this
It's
year.
easy for that to go. Look, you would if you
Exactly.
have Jefferson and you're in the playoffs and he finishes these 3 weeks strong, you're gonna forget about the regular season. It won't matter.
Wide receiver 45 value over 8 games. Who cares? Throw it out the window.
Exactly.
He helps lead you to a championship. It's one of those things where it feels like you're I know that people that have him, because I've been texting with friends, they say I feel doomed either way. You bench him, he goes off. You start him, he does nothing. And I don't have him just like you, Adam. I looked around. I have him nowhere except for best ball. I just wasn't in the position early in those drafts because he was going as the
He was in the middle. So I had a lot of top 3, top 4 picks, so I was not taking him there. And then other drafts I had like picks 9 to 12 where he never lasted. So sometimes you catch a break because I probably would have taken him if I was in the middle rounds. I mean, again, we went into this year and talked about, and maybe it was a mistake. I guess it looks like a mistake. Well, Jefferson has produced with every quarterback under O'Connell, right? Every quarterback, Nick Mullins, whoever you put in there, even Carson Wentz, he had good games with this year. The one guy that hasn't is J.J. McCarthy.
Let's see if it changes this week. It's a great, like Adam said, a great matchup. So fantasylife.com to go and check that out. Wide receiver 24 for me. And that's just, I think, where he's going to stay. We update those every single day. Let's go over to the Colts. That's another big question for week 15 that we've gotten. And I see some questions over here on X about him. Here's the thing, Adam. I think that we have to just realize that we actually might get Riley Leonard this week because he was practicing. So no matter who we get, let's just say, okay, it's Riley Leonard, Brett Rippon, Phillip Rivers. Like, how much are we downgrading this group? What are you looking at? Especially because to me, Alec Pierce is the guy that I think a lot of people have started over the past few weeks. I don't think he becomes startable with any quarterback change here. I think the one guy that I looked at that I didn't downgrade as much as the others was Tyler Warren. And in this matchup, I know it's tough going up against the Seahawks, but you mentioned it yesterday, Adam. They're actually giving up fantasy points to tight ends right now. Not at the highest rate in the league, but it's right there. So he was the only one that I didn't downgrade drastically, I should say.
Look, I don't want to face the Seattle defense right now, and especially in their building, because they do not play around, and they get after you and they beat you up. So Riley Leonard did practice in full yesterday, which I'm a little surprised because they made it seem like he was going to be out. Everyone thinks Phillip Rivers is going to be starting. So let's see what the practice reports are today and tomorrow. But if Leonard is dealing with a knee injury, then maybe he can't run as much, because that's the one thing is he can run a little bit. Yeah, I don't feel good about anyone. Obviously, you're starting Jonathan Taylor because you know he's probably going to get 20 carries. It might not do much with them. Warren has the good matchup here, and you hope that they're trying to get rid of the ball quickly. The receivers, it's tough. I mean, Pittman did get a big target share last week with Leonard, but still, I don't feel good about him against this secondary. So, yeah, you're clearly downgrading the entire Colts offense. So it doesn't even matter who's quarterback. And if it's Rivers, wow, good luck. I mean, he couldn't throw the ball 5 years ago, and now you're asking him to come back at 44 years old against Seattle. Boy, that is absolutely a rough matchup.
Yeah, it's not the best. We saw what Rosemore looked like when he went out there against Seattle. It's just not the same level. I understand it, but still, let's just say it was not good. And so I've seen questions going around on him if Jonathan Taylor is doomed no matter what. Like, this is the guy that helped, bring it to the dance, and then maybe he ends up being your demise. And I understand the questions because he's going to get the workload, right? We know that that's probably going to be the recipe for success. The Colts are in a position to go and make the playoffs still. That's why they're still trying to bring Phillip Rivers into the building. They're still trying to win any way that they can. And we've seen Jonathan Taylor have so much success this season. But the ability that he has when teams had to commit a few extra defenders to stop Daniel Jones, that helped him a lot. And so I just get a little bit worried too that he won't have the easy time with Leonard, Phillip Rivers, Brett Rippon, whoever it is. But you're not down. You're still, it's still Jonathan Taylor. But I understand how people are a little bit nervous about Jonathan Taylor going forward.
They have to be. I mean, it does not look good. They have a very difficult schedule. They have questions at the quarterback position. And we have seen Taylor already with Daniel Jones starting to trend downwards. I mean, he's had 3 games out of the last 5 where he hasn't scored a touchdown, even with all that volume. The concerning part last week was no targets. I know they made the change in quarterback in game, and Leonard likes to run a little bit, but he had no targets. At least he was giving you a little bit more involved in the passing game. So, yeah, if Rivers is the quarterback, he probably will. Rivers will just drive back to throw and be like, oh, no, got to dump it off to Taylor. So Taylor might see a lot if it's Rivers. If it's Leonard, but again, Leonard could be a little compromised with that knee. He might not be able to move as much. So, yeah, a lot of questions, but the bottom line is you do not feel good about this Colts offense right now. Again, Taylor's going to get his volume. They're going to do everything they can, but teams know that, and they'll load up the box. So you gotta hope he breaks off a long run for a touchdown. Again, I just want to see him more involved in the passing game. Give me 4 or 5 targets so he can get 3-4 receptions just to raise that floor in case he doesn't get that touchdown.
He's going to be fed all the carries he can handle. And I think that you're right. We do see an uptick in targets no matter who the quarterback is out there. So there is an out for him to just continue being Jonathan Taylor. But I understand being nervous about it no matter what going into this week. More of the biggest Week 15 questions and some quarterback streamers for people asking. I see a couple QB streamer questions. We're going to go through those coming up here next. You are listening to Fantasy Life right here. Vibes are immaculate because how could it not be? You're starting Week 15 in the fantasy playoffs. You got a first round bye if you're listening. You're playing this weekend, and you've got a good projection. I'm putting all the good things out there, Adam. Where everyone listening is just going to win. That's it.
Yeah, what if we have 2 people listening that are playing each other?
They will both
They'll get a tie?
They'll tie, and it'll be incredible, and then they both get to advance. What?
That's a good...
Oh. Scared.
Like, what is in place for a tie? There's some leagues that probably don't have that. Does it go to the higher seed?
Man, I'd have to look at my.
Oh, I didn't even.
I'd have to look at.
I didn't put those in my rules where I'm commissioner. Got to come up with something.
Look at both of
quick.
us in our leagues where we're commissioner. Like,
no, because there was a tie in not RGST, the other one this year. There was a tie. I mean, it doesn't happen often, and we have decimal points, so you shouldn't have a tie, but.
It happens.
Yeah, this is good to bring up because it can happen. What would I do?
What would you do?
Damn, there's nothing in the rules. That's a problem. So that means
I was thinking about that too. I've got one where I'm commissioner. And
the site would, I guess, default to the higher seed, right? But is that right?
That wouldn't feel right though. Higher
See,
seed.
I don't. Some people might say the bench points is a tiebreaker, but I don't like that because what if someone happens to have 2 quarterbacks on their bench and when someone has none?
Yeah. Or, you put Jayden Daniels on your bench because you just want to see if he's able to come back and he's going to get 0. Yeah. Huh. Hey, someone message us in. Look at your league rules for us and tell us what you're doing so we can copy it. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Okay, I take it back. One person, if 2 people are playing against each other this weekend and one person has to win. Sorry to the other person listening. That's how we're going to do it here.
Now watch, you're going to tie this week.
Please stop. Why would you put that into
I'm just saying, because we spoke about it, and now it's going to happen.
Someone send us in your league rules. What happens in the event of a tie in the fantasy playoffs? And then we'll copy it and put it into our rules going into tonight. I see more questions here coming in, and then I've got some quarterback streamers here. But I see one from is this your burner account? Mets win?
Yeah, right. They don't win, so I would not come up with a burner account like that. Is that really I see it now. Yeah,
Mets win. Hey, daily listener, appreciate you. Egbuka or Shakir this week? I think it's
Egbuka for me.
Yeah.
So the coaching staff has talked him up all week. Like they have confidence in him. They want to get him the football. They have to get him easy targets. So yes, Evans coming back certainly will cut in. But again, I expect Evans to be limited. We'll find out. I'm sure there'll be a report before the game. Yeah, he's on a snap count. But again, I don't worry about that because they're going to put him in situations where they're going to throw him the ball. But yeah, look, with Shakir, I mean, they are just spreading the ball around at an absurd rate right now.
Yes.
So I can't have confidence in Shakir either. That's the problem here, is I feel better about Egbuka getting a bigger target share. I mean, we have seen not only the targets dip, the route share for Shakir, 52.4% the last 2 games.
Yeah.
An 11.8% target share. Like, come on.
Yeah, that's an offense that we just always say, okay, it's Josh Allen, James Cook. And then we move on. And we're not necessarily kidding about it either. Like
and Kincaid, but so Kincaid is one of the rare players that he does not have a high route share or snap count because they rotate. But when he's in there, he tends to get the football. And again, the tight end position, once you get past, I mean, a lot of guys. I mean, Tyler Warren, we talked about, not looking as good. Gaston has really slipped. So Kincaid, I could see playing as well. But the receivers for Buffalo, I don't want to play any of them at this point. They just rotate all of them.
Yeah, it's not a good situation. You don't want to be a part of it. It's not like where we talk about the Packers where they're spreading the ball around, but you still have a Christian Watson that's, stealing the show. You don't have that with Khalil Shakir. You wish you did, but it's just not the role that he has, and it's not how they play him, and it's how they spread the ball around.
I mean, Brandon Cooks comes in and is playing 36% of the snaps last week.
It just doesn't make it makes no sense to me. I see one here from Marty. Might need to Mike Evans, Egbuka, or Pittman. I've seen a lot of Mike Evans, Egbuka teams where they probably picked him up, and I think that's going to be a really tough. That's going to be a tough choice. So between the three, need to Evans, Egbuka, or Pittman.
I think I have to go Evans, Egbuka. I mean, again, with Pittman, because you have to make that decision tonight. We're not really sure who the quarterback is, and either way, I mean, look, if it's Leonard, he did target Pittman a lot, but again, it's Seattle's defense. I mean, this could be ugly for the Colts. So
yeah, it could be. I'm not necessarily excited about it. Well, I am as a Seahawks fan. I'm excited about it, but fantasy wise, I'm downgrading everyone. JJ McCarthy, is he a streamer to you this week if you need it? I hope people don't. But you never know the situations. We've talked about this matchup against Dallas. He's only 27.9% rostered.
I'd rather not. I mean, hopefully you don't need to. Right? It's the first week of the playoffs. You should have your quarterback.
Aaron Rodgers. Should we go there?
No.
Against Miami? Tyler Shuck against Carolina.
Look, you really don't want to play any of those guys in the first round of the fantasy playoffs in a one-quarterback league.
Oh, man. All right, we're going to continue going through your questions here. It's time for that Fantasy Life Water Cooler. Send us in your questions. Give us a call. We're going to go through that news to know here coming up next. Oh, this is Fantasy Life. It is time for that water cooler. You already know by now, but if you don't, we go through the news and notes that you need to know from all the practice reports, everything to get you up to speed for week 15 so you can set those lineups with confidence. 888-963-2682 is the phone number to call in, or you can press that new call-in button on the Sirius XM app if you're listening to us from there, and you can find us over there on X, at KValenzuela17, at Adam Ronis on X. Send us in your questions. If you can't call, we'd love to hear from as many of you as we can and get through as many questions as we can. There's a lot to get through here, Adam, with questions from people listening. We appreciate you guys so much. You are the absolute best, and excited that so many people have been making the playoffs, and we're gonna keep the good times going here, Adam. So fantasylife.com can also help you make those tough lineup decisions this weekend. Again, you're gonna hear us talk about the rankings a lot today, but fantasylife.com, you can see the rankings. Mine are 100% free. So if you do want to go and check those out, fantasylife.com, subscribe to that newsletter that's there in your inbox 7 days a week. And you can go a little bit deeper too. You can go get our projections. You can go get the utilization report, the utilization suite of tools, Fantasy Life Plus. If you've been looking for a subscription, either tier 1 or tier 2, use that code SXM20. SXM20 gets you 20% off at checkout. So make sure to go over there, fantasylife.com, and use that code, get that checkout, get the discount, and let's win some leagues. Why not? We're already this far. You might as well. You don't want to.
Yes, it starts this week, so let's focus on this week, get this W, and move on. If you don't have a bye.
Yes, if you have a bye, hang out. Pina coladas with Alvin Kamara. I don't know what you're doing. Go to Cancun. Wait, is that what he said? He'd rather go to Cancun and sip pina coladas if they were.
Did he say Cancun specifically? I do remember the pina colada comment.
Okay, all right.
Which he's probably doing right now, anyway.
Hey, where is Alvin Kamara?
I mean, I don't think he's
in the year.
Like, we knew this was going to happen.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
He hasn't been ruled out yet, but. Just stay away so Devin Neal can do his thing. That's what I want to say.
It's not been bad with Devin Neal either.
No.
Like if you picked him up 2 games without him, 77% snap share, 62% rush share, and 71% route participation rate, and a target share. He's getting targets too, 8% over there.
Yeah.
He's averaged 12.7. Okay, how about this?
No.
12.7 points.
Well, so he had 10 targets those first 2 games, and then last week when I played his player prop, he didn't go over. 1 catch for 14 yards. I think I had
ruined it for us.
I had it at 16 and a half. He only had 1 target. If he gets one more target, I cash it. But yeah, 17 touches against Miami, 20 last week against Tampa. And look, they've played competitive football. I mean, they pretty much have all year, and their defense has been a lot better lately, too. So they're not a pushover right now. So that keeps them in games and allows Neal to get the touches. So, yeah, Alvin Kamara, just chill on the side. We're good here.
Take a seat. Take a step back. We're going to be fine. It's how we've been talking about Marvin Harrison Jr. this season. It's like, don't rush back. Michael Wilson managers would love to have another week of wide receiver 1 production, wouldn't you?
They would, although they get the Texans, so it's going to be tough.
I think you still have to.
I think so too.
I think you have to.
Yeah, because there is a possibility that they're playing from behind, and we do get some garbage time from Jacoby Brissett. And again, I do think the Texans defense is probably on a different level than everyone right now. But if you go look, Brissett has put up some numbers against some tough defenses. Like I said, against Seattle, he put up some numbers against them.
No, definitely.
I think he had 248, 2 touchdowns. Again, that's nothing great, but you would take that this week. But I don't think people are starting Brissett this week, and I get that. But I think Michael Wilson is probably going to, because even if you despise Michael Wilson this week, like how far can you push him down if Marvin Harrison's out?
Oh, if Marvin's out, not that. You can't. To be honest, not that far.
And then this goes back to
11.
Okay, some people might think even that's too high, but
yeah, I know.
But here's the point, though, and it's a discussion we've had the last couple weeks. Once we get past like the top 10, 12 receivers, they all have question marks. So you'd rather go with a guy who has been producing and getting massive volume, even in a very difficult matchup.
I'm also looking at Brissett and saying to myself, is there a world where this works? Because the floor with Brissett, and this is what I understand with people looking at him too, it's been good. You've been happy with Jacoby Brissett and what he's given you. Again, you've said it, Adam. The attempts that he has per game is way up there. You're sitting at 40 plus over since week 10. And so, but his worst game in the last 6 games has been 19 fantasy points. And I understand it. One was against Seattle. And no other defense though comes close to this Houston Texans defense. And that's where you get a little bit nervous. But is there a world because of the game script where we just feel like they're going to fall out of it? Not necessarily early, but I feel like they're going to be trailing. Is there a world where you talk yourself into starting Jacoby Brissett?
I don't think so. So the one league that I have Brissett, I also have Caleb Williams. So that is not good. So they both are in bad spots.
What are you going to do there?
I don't know. It's going to be like negative wind chills in Chicago.
Yeah.
So they want to run the football to begin with anyway, and we did see the Browns' run defense crack last week against Tony Pollard. So I don't know.
I've got Brissett ranked higher.
I probably will roll with him, but here again, this is one of the more intriguing situations this week because we have Brissett, who has been rolling, going against a team that has just been absolutely shutting down every quarterback. They just held Mahomes to 160. No touchdowns and 3 interceptions in Kansas City. They held Josh Allen to 253, no passing touchdowns and 2 interceptions. So they've done it against everyone. Even week 1, I mean, Matthew Stafford, it was week 1, but 245 and a touchdown. So Daniel Jones did have 201 and 2 touchdowns in week 13. So you can say, hey, maybe Brissett can do it. But what you're going to have to hope is that they do fall behind and then they do get like a little bit of a prevent defense in the second half where he's able to pick up, 8 yards here, 10 here. But counting on that, it's tough. And that Texans defense, they're very physical. It's no, you don't think that hit on Rashee Rice affected him the rest of the game? Yeah. That's probably why he was dropping those passes because he's like,
he didn't want to get hit. Yeah.
He's like, I think someone's behind me and I don't want to get popped again. So, yeah, this is one of the more intriguing scenarios of the week. Like, what happens with Jacoby Brissett, Michael Wilson against this Texans defense that has allowed absolutely nothing?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I've got Jacoby Brissett, Bo Nix. That's my back and forth, and
Nix has Green Bay.
Nix has Green Bay. I haven't even made a decision yet.
You probably are going Nix, right?
Probably. But you know how scared that makes me?
Oh, of course. I
Yeah,
mean, I'm
it's
scared watching him play. So
I
to
think
start
the
him in my
upside with
lineup would be
Brissett,
brutal.
yeah, the upside with Brissett, I think is there. But Michael Wilson is that question. I haven't seen an update yet on Marvin Harrison Jr. But if he's out, I think I agree. Like you just have to look at Michael Wilson as someone that you just start, and you just know you have to lower your expectations because of this Texans defense. But yeah, he's projected right now without Marvin Harrison Jr. 14 PPR points, Xfinity best ceiling 20.7 and a floor of 10.5. So borderline wide receiver one when you look at that. Again, at K Valenzuela 17, at Adam Ronis over there on X. We asked the question, Adam, what do people do in a tie situation in the fantasy playoffs? Because you and I, as commissioners, do not have anything in place if that were to happen. Have you seen some of these replies, by the way?
Yeah.
So, yeah, go ahead.
So
In the event of a tie,
I've heard the bench points thing. I hate that
I
because
don't like the bench points.
here's the thing. So if that rule is in place, you know what everyone's going to do, right? Playoff time, they're going to go pick up quarterbacks. Now, that could also hurt your team, right? Because what are the chances of a tie? They're very slim, right? Because most of my leagues all have decimal points. So if you have the decimal points, the likelihood of like having a tie is slim. But like I said, there was one this year in the GST league, so it can happen, and you have to be prepared for the possibility. I hate the bench points thing. I don't like it.
I know. I see a couple of them. And look, to your point just now, someone messaged us in my league, we tiebreaker is bench points. That's why I have 2 quarterbacks on my bench.
Yeah.
Exactly. You would do that.
That could hurt you too. To be fair, it could hurt you down the road. It could, but I don't want that to be the deciding factor. I think higher seed. I don't know about that.
Total points in the year. So Paul here said we have we actually had a playoff tie in Yahoo. It was total points, better record, and head-to-head win.
So those were the order?
I think so.
So like total points first, then record, then head-to-head?
Then head-to-head, yeah.
I guess total points over the course of a season isn't bad.
I think that one makes the most total points. I see this one from Marcus too. In the event of a time, most total points from regular season moves on. He said loves the show. Thanks, Marcus. I would agree with. I guess total.
Why'd
points
you lead with? That was the part to lead with.
Sorry, it was at the back end. I said keep dropping knowledge. Appreciate you. I would do total, or you just ask them what they want. Rock paper scissors, coin flip.
Cage match.
Oh.
A race.
Oh, a race. We could do that. I would beat you. So maybe
no, you wouldn't.
Want to tie.
No, you wouldn't. Next time I see you, we're going to race.
No, I know we are.
We're putting it on video and you're going to be embarrassed.
So if you see 2 adults running down the street, just don't mind your business. That's Adam and I racing. I think I could keep up. I'm going to
You might be able to keep up. I mean, I don't know. I've never seen you run.
You said you're fast. Oh, yeah. I don't.
I am.
I don't usually see adults run as fast as they can usually. It's just not
most of them will pull a hammy 10 feet in.
Could you imagine, though, if one of us pulled a hamstring, though? And then just
that would be embarrassing for me. I'm talking all this trash, and I always
and
play.
we get it on video. You'd have to let us post it.
No, I wouldn't. I might have to hibernate for a little bit.
Be like, Adam's not around right now, so just let him be. All right. More fantasy questions. Again, I didn't see too much news over the last 24 hours, Adam, since we did our show yesterday. Again, at the very top of the show, we talked about how you do not have Jayden Daniels this week. Marcus Mariota, not a bad pivot. We're not necessarily downgrading everyone because of this move. Marcus Mariota as well. If he is someone, I hope you don't, but if you need a quarterback streamer, he does get things done for you on the ground. So hopefully we see him run a little bit there. And then I believe the other one off the top was that it doesn't look like we're going to have Geno Smith. He is unlikely to start, not officially out, but they're going up against the Eagles. So it would be Kenny Pickett. I think in this situation anyway, Adam, you were not starting anyone besides Brock Bowers, Ashton Genty. And I think they would still be in the same spot. Maybe you downgrade Bowers a little bit, but you just expect him to continue to get the targets.
Yeah, and it's a tough matchup here against Philly's defense. They have played well. I mean, their defense kept them in the game last week when the offense just kept turning it over. So even without Jalen Carter, against a better offense, they were solid. So they're going to put up some points this week against the Raiders.
They sure are. Let's just say that. All right, I've got a lot of questions here coming in, so let's try and go through as many as we can get to. Let's start on the phone lines, and then we'll go over to our questions over there on X. So let's start off with Mike in Michigan. Mike, what do you got for us?
Hey, I'm probably beating a dead horse here with a Jacoby Brissett question, but am I overthinking it? Or should on waivers pick up C.J. Stroud or J.J. McCarthy with a really good matchup?
Oh, I think the only conversation is between Brissett and J.J. McCarthy, right, Adam? Because I don't necessarily love C.J. Stroud in this. He's my QB 22. But I think
he could. I mean, look, he could put up numbers in this matchup, but it's tough to trust him, especially since they could get a defensive score, they could run it, and then Stroud could throw a pass touchdown. All of a sudden, it's 21-0, and then he's not doing much. So
yeah, I guess it's between McCarthy, Brissett. I really would still go Brissett. Could be wrong, but
I think I might go McCarthy. I think I'm that worried about Brissett against this matchup. I know he's been so good, and what is it, multiple touchdowns in every start except one. But again, this Texans defense just limited Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. You think they can't do the same to Jacoby Brissett, who's been getting a lot of production in the second half?
I've got him back to back. So that's not the best answer for you, Mike, but it's really a gut feeling at this point, Adam. And that's how you got here too. Like some of these decisions that everyone made, you're in the fantasy playoffs for a reason. So go with your gut decision on that one.
I do think this is a very tough decision because I think some people might look at it and go, oh, Brissett's been playing so well. Who cares? Just keep rolling with them. How could you bench him? But again, you look at what the Texans have done, and this is insane. And especially the last few weeks, they have gotten even better. So
I've never had him lower in my rankings. Like that's how far he's fallen this week, just because of the pure matchup with the Texans defense. So again, they're back to back, and we'll see who ends up on top. But it is a really good question with Jacoby Brissett. Let's go out to Marcus in Toronto. Marcus, what do you got for us?
Good morning.
Good. How are you doing?
Good, thank you. So I have a tight end question. Got Harold Fanning, who's seeing
start him
target share when he's on the field versus Mark Andrews.
Who's your other one?
All right, so Mark Andrews in Cincinnati, and who doesn't play any defense against tight ends.
I'd still go Fanning. Would you, Adam?
Yeah. Okay, so look, Andrews is in a great spot. We did see him in the same situation go 4 for 47 in the first one. And Likely is there as well. And I think Likely obviously is a better playmaker right now, can, have a longer reception. Andrews is not going to break a big play. So yeah, I think you have to go with Fannin here. As great as the matchup is for Andrews, and again, a lot of scenarios will say Andrews, depending on who you're comparing him with, but I think you got to go with Fannin now in this matchup and with the way Sanders is getting him the football.
No weather concerns yet, just cold.
Well, very
cold. But wind, right? Projected 9-mile-per-hour winds, which still isn't a concern. But maybe it feels like it could be temperatures. It's going to be cold.
They said it might be the coldest game in history there in Chicago.
No, it doesn't worry you. The cold. You care more about the wind.
Yeah, look, the target share with Sanders is 23.9%, and this is a pretty good matchup too against the Bears. They've given up some numbers to the tight end position, so yeah, I would go with Fannin.
All right, another one here on the phone lines, Ray from Nevada. Ray, what do you got for us?
Oh, good. I'm glad I got through. I couldn't sleep last night. I don't know who to play. I usually don't have these issues. I like to have the same team set, listen to you guys all the time. So I'm going to start with a quick running back question, which leads into the wide receivers question. So it's either Neal or Walker. One of them has to start.
Oh, I love Kenneth Walker personally, but I would go. I've got Kenneth Walker. I've got him as RB24. I've got Neal, Adam at 27, so I guess I would go Walker there. What about you?
I think I would go Neal if Kamara is out.
Which he should be out, right?
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah. All right.
I'm feeling Neal because Walker's been making me so mad, but
Yeah.
he can still play. So here's the deal: I got these wide receivers: Egbuka, Diggs, Jennings, Watson, Ladd. 3 of them have to play. 4 of them can play, and I could put Walker in as a flex. So again, it's Egbuka, Diggs, Jennings, Watson, Ladd. 3 of them or 4 of them can play.
Those are good. 3 or 4 could play, and one could be in place of the running back in a flex. I think that's what I heard, Adam.
Yeah, I think all the receivers are higher than Walker.
All of them? Diggs?
Diggs is the
Diggs
challenging
is the
one.
only one that I'm looking at. Like, I don't necessarily love that.
Yeah, it is another revenge game against Buffalo.
Oh, that's right.
And the last time he faced him, he went off.
Maybe I should
He's coming off a bye, too.
Yeah.
Maybe they were trying to... I don't know. I had Walker, though, against Indy, though, right?
That's what I'm saying. I only have him 2 spots ahead of Neal, but I'm looking at the matchup more specifically than anything else.
It's just losing those goal line carries to Charbonnet so much.
So you'd start all those receivers besides.
No, I would start Walker over Diggs and Watson's the tricky one this week because he's got Denver and could see Surtain, but he's also good against man. And we did see Surtain get beat by McLaurin. It's really difficult to sit Watson right now with how hot he's been. I mean, I don't like him as much as recent weeks, but yeah, I think I would start him over Diggs.
Oh man, those are tough decisions, Ray. Appreciate you calling in. Appreciate everyone calling in. We're going to keep taking your questions here because there's a lot going into this week. We totally understand it. So we're going to try and get to as many as we can throughout the remainder of the show. First, we've got the trust meter though from Vanicream. See which guys we are trusting going into week 15, and then more questions here coming up next. Immaculate vibes on this Thursday because it is week 15. It is time for the fantasy football playoffs for some. Unless you had that first round bye, then congratulations. Just keep hanging out. Make some chocolate chip cookies. If they have peanut butter in them, send them to Adam so he can try some. He loves peanut butter.
Love it. And peanut butter cookies, definitely.
Oh, that sounds pretty good. Again, I did chocolate chip, and I made this week. I've been a little bit bored. I made banana bread. Oh,
banana bread. Ooh.
Yeah, doesn't that sound good?
Yeah, I like banana bread a lot.
I really do too. I put a few little chocolate chips in there. Yeah, that'll do it.
Send some over. Let's go.
Oh, yeah, I don't know if that'll keep. I think that'd be pretty gross if I sent that over. But maybe we can experiment and try it out. The Vanicream Trust Meter. You're going to rate these players on the Trust Meter for the week. See how much you trust them to start. Scale of 1 to 10 because Vanicream gives guys no-nonsense, fragrance-free care designed for sensitive skin because even guys need a little bit of help here. Woody Marks. Scale of 1 to 10. Where's your trust in good Woody Marks this week?
I actually trust him quite a bit this week. I think I'm going to go 8 this week. That's Love the matchup here against Arizona. We've talked about Woody Marks a lot. Mm-hmm. The volume has been phenomenal. The production for fantasy has not been great. But since week 10, he is averaging 20 touches per game. Only 69 total yards. We also want to get him more involved in the passing game. But the run defense for Arizona has not been great the last few weeks. Over the last 5 games, 4th most rushing yards per game allowed. So I think this is a game that Woody Marks can be productive and maybe find the end zone once or twice. So Woody Marks, 8 this week.
Okay, I like that one. And Nick Chubb exited that game early last week with a rib injury. Again, we'll have to see the updates here for the week. Once he did that, though, he had 89% of the snaps. Woody Marks did. So this is a good one. Projects for 12.1 fantasy points, Xfinity best ceiling of 20.2. Mid-range RB2 range for him for sure. How about one Kareem Hunt? Scale of 1 to 10 on the Vanicream Trust Meter. How much do you trust him? 1 to 10.
It's always difficult to have a high trust level on Kareem Hunt because he's really based on volume. He's been getting it, but he doesn't break big plays, and he needs to find the end zone. So I'll go 5 for Kareem Hunt.
That's not bad.
Yeah, I don't think you feel great ever playing Kareem Hunt if you have him. You're just like, well, okay, he's going to get the volume.
I mean, he's someone that you picked up off the waiver wire more than likely, and Isaiah Pacheco hasn't done anything. So he's got the lead role over the last 2 games. 63% of the snaps, 62 in the last 2. So yeah, and they're favorites in this game, right? 4.5-point favorites against the Chargers, or maybe it shifted.
Yeah, they are
Last time
favored,
I
but like I don't know how you could trust them right now. Like even against the Texans, he had 12 carries for 30 yards, did find the end zone.
They've struggled. The Chargers have struggled against the run, though, in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, we did see. Well, at least early in the game, Barkley had some nice holes to run through, and
Yeah, that was
had a
making
really
me
good
nervous
game.
in my sweat when I was playing Jalen Hurts. Ugh, trust me on Jalen Hurts, 0. I'll give you your answer.
Really
0.
against Vegas? Look. I know
I'm just
you're
being
burned.
salty.
Okay,
I know.
all right.
No, I'm just kidding. I just wanted to get it out there. All right, 5 for. I like that 5 for Kareem Hunt. Courtland Sutton. Denver Broncos. We've talked about Bo Nix a little bit today. Again, they're going up against the Packers. What's your trust level with Courtland Sutton?
Well, look, he's the one guy in the receiving core I think that you can count on. They just spread the ball out so much. Now, Pat Bryant is out, so that could open some things up for some of the other guys, but this seems like it's going to be a tough matchup here for Denver against this Green Bay defense. I don't think there's going to be a lot of points. Sutton, in a different offense, obviously would put up huge numbers. We know that the numbers have taken a little bit of a tailspin. So I'll go 6 with Sutton.
Okay. Man, they kind of have a tougher schedule, I guess. I don't count the Jags, but they play the Packers this week, then Jacksonville against wide receivers. They're 20th, and then the Chiefs are 14th. It's not necessarily the easiest way to go.
Yeah, it's a good thing they piled up all those wins when they did.
Well, that's true. So they need a win this week. A win gets them, obviously, they go to the playoffs. And then I don't think that gets them, that doesn't clinch the number 1 seed, though, because the Patriots are still in.
Yeah, Patriots are right there with them.
Yeah, so we'll have to see how that holds out. But okay, Courtland Sutton, what'd you say, 5?
Yeah.
Okay. I
No,
don't
6.
Oh, 6. Okay. How about Jacoby Meyers? We're doing the trust meter, scale of 1 to 10. Jacoby Meyers with Jacksonville, 4 full games, by the way, with the Jaguars. He leads the team in route participation, target share, and end zone targets. What do you think?
Yeah, he's the go-to guy there now. He's quickly developed chemistry with Trevor Lawrence and has played well. He's got about a 25% target share since coming there and a little over 60 receiving yards per game. So I would say I'll go 7.
All right. I like that one. I guess when I wrote these out, I just had a wide receiver. We were just talking wide receivers. Last one, trust meter, Justin Jefferson.
I think it's going to be, it's higher than you think because of the matchup this week.
I thought you were going to say a 7.
Yeah, I'm going 7. I'm going 7. I think we see
that.
Jefferson put up numbers this week against that Cowboys defense.
It's going to be, again, I have had friends texting me saying they're doomed if they do, they're doomed if they don't, right? You bench him, he goes off. You put him in your lineup, he doesn't. It's just, I just can't believe at this point in the season, though, we're talking about Justin Jefferson, who's the wide receiver at full point PPR, 72. What are we doing here? It's horrible.
Look, sometimes you just have to forget what just happened and look ahead. And the other factor is to, tell me who you're benching him for. That's the biggest. That's the problem that I don't like with these sit-em columns because it leads people in a bad direction. You could sit Jefferson, but who are you sitting him for? That's what I need to know. If you're going to start going down because you're so frustrated and be like, you know what, I can't take Jefferson no more. I'm starting Keenan Allen over him. It's really?
Don't do that.
Keyshawn Booty, guys like that. Once you get to that area, it's come on.
Yeah. All right.
Now,
let me go.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, no, go ahead. Finish, because I'm going to give you rapid fire Justin Jefferson or questions.
Okay, go ahead.
Justin Jefferson or Jacoby Meyers?
Jefferson.
Really?
Yes.
See, I've got Jacoby higher. Justin Jefferson or DK Metcalf against Miami? Assuming he's healthy and good to go, which he should
Jefferson.
Be. Wow. Justin Jefferson or Lad McConkey against the Chiefs?
Jefferson.
Wow. All right, Justin Jefferson. Maybe I need to go the other direction or Juwan Jennings. Jefferson.
Yep, Jefferson.
Oh my God. Okay, let me go the other direction. Justin Jeff got all except for Juwan Jennings. I have all 3 of those players ahead of J. Jeff. Justin Jefferson or Wan'Dale Robinson against the Commanders?
Jefferson.
Okay. Where would you have him then? You'd have him at wide receiver 18 then, it
Like
sounds
17, 18, yeah.
17, 18. Okay. So I'm way off with you. I've got him at 20. Justin Jefferson or Devontae Smith? Okay, there we go. I finally found one. Devontae. Even though it hasn't been good though.
Yeah, really. Lately it hasn't been because it's been all AJ Brown.
But
I'll go Jefferson.
Just last one, I promise. Justin Jefferson or Zay Flowers?
Jefferson. Flowers. So Flowers, this is a tough matchup for him. DJ Turner was on him a lot last game. And when Turner was covering him, Flowers had no receptions. And Flowers had two for 6 in that game. Now, he did have the offensive pass interference that would have been a touchdown. We've seen a lot of offensive pass interference called and these pick plays called a lot lately for penalties too. But I'd look, Flowers could have a bounce back game, but I would take Jefferson.
All right, that was the Vanicream Trust Meter. Vanicream gives guys no-nonsense, fragrance-free care designed for sensitive skin because even guys need a little bit of help. More questions here, Adam. You ready to go? I want to try and go more rapid fire so that we can get through as many as we can. I say that, and then I chat a lot with you between these. So I'm going to try and go as quickly as we can through these. So I appreciate everyone sending these in. I see one from Vincent saying, full point PPR, need help at tight end, worry about the Colts quarterback situation. Who do I start? He's got Warren, Kincaid, Hunter Henry, Mike Gesicki. And then he said, love the show. Oh, should have started with that. I still think it's between Warren and Kincaid.
I wouldn't consider the other two.
No, I wouldn't either. And honestly, I do have Tyler Warren ranked higher by 2 spots. So it can be a coin flip if you want it to be. Kincaid going up against the New England Patriots.
Yeah, I would. Right now, I would lean Warren, but I don't feel great about it.
No, absolutely not. This is a really good, interesting question here from Scott. So Scott says, I have Godwin on my bench, but I have T. Higgins and CeeDee Lamb starting. Obviously, both questionable. Godwin is playing tonight on Thursday. Do not have another good option who is playing on Sunday. Should I hedge and start Godwin tonight? Ooh, that's tough.
You're going to have to wait until the practice reports come out today to see if we get positive news on Lamb and Higgins. I cannot believe that Higgins was at practice yesterday.
I guess I just don't understand the concussion protocol.
If you're in concussion protocol, how are you on the field practicing?
I don't know. I'm going to try and talk to someone about it that has way more information than I do and knowledge of it, because I just didn't think that he would even be out there yet. But,
so I think they said Lamb has 2 more steps to go through, I believe.
And so what's Higgins at? Higgins is further ahead than CeeDee Lamb?
No, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
So
would you hedge though? That's the thing. You read the reports tonight. Let's say I don't think the reports are going to tell us anything today though. They're still going to say probably limited for both.
No, yeah, maybe they say. Is it possible Lamb could clear today? I guess not.
Well, but he had the Thursday game, so I would actually. Yeah. I'm more confident that we see Lamb this week than we see T. Higgins because his was later. But
I would wait till the last minute, and if nothing changes, then I guess you have to start Godwin because you can't take the risk of both of them sitting on Sunday.
You can't take zeros. So I would agree, and you just hope that Lamb's good. You hope that both are good to go. I just can't see a situation today, Adam, where we get that information though.
Or maybe there's someone on the waiver wire that you would feel good enough to fill in if one of them or both sat. But it sounds like he doesn't. So assuming that there's not, and we don't get any changing news on them, then you're probably going to have to start Godwin tonight.
Oh my gosh, that's
tough. The one thing that is awful about the Thursday game. I've said it repeatedly. We all love watching football, but the Thursday night game in these scenarios absolutely makes it very difficult for fantasy because you have to make these tough decisions where you just don't have enough information on players going over the weekend.
And in the fantasy playoffs, it's tough, but you don't want zeros. You hope that Godwin hasn't been necessarily giving anyone fantasy football hope over the last, I should say just the whole season, but you just don't want to take a 0. Maybe he just finds the end zone. But he's gotten 10 fantasy points the last 2 weeks. Then it was 2.9 against the Rams week 12. We haven't seen him, since then, since week 5. So you just hope 10.5 you'll take in this game against Atlanta. So maybe he's able to get you that. Another one here from Kevin saying, I'm starting Lamb and Sutton. If Lamb doesn't play, should I put in Jordan Addison or Jayden Reed? Since it would not be, he also has Egbuka. Ooh. Since it would not be Egbuka because of tonight. Ooh. It's like the same situation with Lamb. He's starting Courtland, Sutton, Addison, or Reed.
Addison.
Yeah. Ugh, that's tough. These Thursday, the T. Higgins, CeeDee Lamb. Hopefully we get news.
Yeah.
Because that'll help a lot of people.
Yeah, I think those are the two main ones, right? That were really.
I think so. I can look back at my waiver wire column. I think those are the two that are in concussion protocol right now, though. That we're just kind of waiting on, because the others were quarterbacks. It was Daniel Jones, Jayden Daniels, Geno Smith, Tyrod Taylor, Achane with the ribs, but that's a Sunday game.
No, it's a Monday.
Oh, a Monday game. That's right.
Yeah,
And
they made it seem like he's fine, but I still want to see the practice reports here, because because today's technically their first day of practice, because it's a Monday game.
Listen, if you have Devon Achane, even if they tell us all the right things, go pick up Jalen Wright, please, because this is a Monday game. Could you imagine if he doesn't progress well, they tell us after these Sunday games that he's not good to go? Worst case scenario, but we want to plan for that. So go and get Jalen Wright if he's out there and available. We're going to continue on taking more of your questions here and go through some more of those Week 15 rankings, early Week 15 rankings, and the matchups that we like this week coming up next. Mike's Hard Lemonade is partnering with Matthew Berry and Fantasy Life to give away weekly prizes all season long, including a trip to this year's big game. Prizes include Fantasy Life Plus subscriptions, gift cards to New Era, Homage, and Knockaround, TV, soundbars, and 2 tickets to that big game. And not only have Fantasy Life and Mike's Hard partnered for the sweepstakes, but we've also collaborated on a new 12-pack of exclusive flavors, including a Hard Pink Pick 6, Hard Pineapple Rush, Hard Berry Blitz, and Hard Apple Tackle. So go to www.mikeshard.com/sweepstakes/fantasy life today. Enter the sweepstakes and go find the Mike's Hard Fantasy Life 12-pack at a store near you. 21 plus only, premium malt beverage, Mike's Hard Lemonade Co., Chicago, Illinois. No purchase necessary to enter sweepstakes. See official rules at mikeshard.com/sweepstakes/fantasy life. All right, Adam, more fantasy questions. You ready to go?
Ready.
You're ready. We're locked in. We're loaded. It's time. It's Week 15. We got to make the right decisions. If we don't, we'll be thinking about it for the whole rest of the year. Kendall, Valenzuela, Adam Ronis with you right here on Fantasy Life, Sirius XM, Fantasy Sports Radio, going through more of your questions, going through more of the rankings and the matchups as well. Guys that we like, guys that we might be, lowering our expectations for. Hey, Rico Dowdle, Chuba Hubbard. We haven't talked about them because they were on a bye. I guess we can tie in everyone here with the Panthers. Tedderone McMillan, we've seen some good games from. We've also seen Brock Purdy. What are we doing here? Bryce Young. I don't know what's going on. It's a Thursday. But Rico Dowdle, Chuba Hubbard, what are you expecting from this split now that they've come back from their bye week? I've got Rico Dowdle ranked slightly ahead, RB23, Chuba Hubbard, RB30. What do you think here?
Yeah, slight edge to Dowdle, but definitely some questions. Hubbard has looked good, and he did say he rushed back from that calf injury, which might have meant the numbers or the production wasn't as good when he first came back. Dowdle obviously has been better overall, but this does look like, I think weeks ago, you would have said Dowdle is a borderline RB1 the rest of the year. You cannot say that now. Because we did see Hubbard play more snaps in that game before the bye week. So, and he was good. 19 touches, 124 total yards. So I would think it's leaning in the direction of Dowdle, but this also could be a hot hand situation, right? Where maybe Dowdle starts, right? And then Hubbard comes in and looks great again, and they go, okay, we'll go with more Hubbard here. So, yeah, it's not ideal for either back, and especially if you were counting on Dowdle. But I'd give him the slight edge. But you're right. The gap between those two in rankings has absolutely closed. It's very close.
It's not the RB1 show for Rico Dowdle anymore, unfortunately. So I don't think either is like this must start where we said every week, oh, Rico Dowdle, yeah, absolutely start him no matter what. We've seen that gap close, like you just said. Same thing. You feel the same way for Jaylen Warren, Kenneth Gainwell? I think Jaylen Warren is more for me, and maybe it's just because I have him in a couple leagues, so and my running back situations aren't the best, so I'm starting him. But the gap there for me is RB25, RB31 with Kenneth Gainwell. I think what we've seen with Gainwell, he's got a higher utilization score than Warren during the last 3 weeks of these games, and it's because of his work in the passing game. You feel the same way about them?
Yeah, I mean, just look at the snap counts. Like you said, a lot of passing work for Gainwell. I think it's 6 receptions in 3 of the last 4 games.
Yep.
And last week it was 50% Warren, 48% Gainwell. The week before, 56-42 in the favor of Warren. So that's another running back that if you would have asked me about a month ago, I would have been like, yeah, I think Warren's going to finish the season strong. It's his backfield. But that's something that we've just seen throughout his tenure here. Every time we think, all right, this is time for Jaylen Warren to take over the backfield, they just don't give him that full workload. He's already had a career high in carries, though. His 4th year in the league, he's at 159. His previous high was 149 in 2023. So with 4 games left. So, but yeah, the passing to Gainwell is frustrating because that was the strength of Warren. Warren had 61 catches in 2023, and he's sitting at 30 through 12 games. So he's not even averaging 3 receptions per game. So Gainwell taking away those receptions is kind of valuable for fantasy.
Yeah, it's a 1A, 1B situation, and you don't like it. You were hoping that if you had Warren, because he was already kind of a steal at where you got him, or he was outperforming his ADP, I should say that. It's still a good matchup going up against the Dolphins defense. They've allowed the 9th most rushing yards to opposing running backs this season, but definitely more of a 1A, 1B situation. More questions over here on X that I see coming in. One from Joe here, starting Fannin at tight end, planning on starting Evans as well. Need one. Singletary, Kyle Pitts, Troy Franklin, or Mechie. He said, yuck. Oh, hashtag fanny pack for Adam. Yes, let's get that going. Hashtag fanny pack for Adam. I think it's Pitts here, no?
Yeah, like you just look at the splits
Pitts has been,
with London out, and he's been really good. I mean, that's the guy Cousins looks for. So, yeah, it is Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, I would agree. Hashtag fanny pack for Adam. Let's get it trending, and maybe that's what he gets for Christmas.
No, I don't want that as a Christmas.
I'm sorry. Look at Joey saying, Adam, can't believe Alonzo went to Baltimore. A little baseball talk.
Oh, look at you, just sticking a dagger in me.
Well, come on. Well, it's for the people. The people are commenting on it. We love our listeners.
Look, I knew the Mets were not going 5 years to Alonso. Reports are they didn't even give him an offer because they felt other teams were going to go longer. So
that's crazy. All right. Well,
thanks for ruining my day. I appreciate it.
Sorry. I mean, they ruin your day every day, so it can't be me. Come on. We'll keep it going though.
I can't wait for Sam Darnold in the postseason.
I already wrote it up. I know. I'm not very excited about it. That my question today was, will he turn back into a pumpkin? Hey, he hasn't. These last couple of games does not look very good. But if you have Jaxson, Smith, and Jigba, that's all you need is just some heavy targets, which is what we're gonna get. I'll make you feel better. Let's talk about Thursday night and go through more of these fantasy questions. Thursday night breakdown here and preview for this game tonight. We'll take more of your questions coming up next. What a great day. Happy Thursday, everyone. We've got Thursday night football coming in tonight. A lot of big questions going around this game, but we're going to try and get to as many as we can. Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the Atlanta Falcons. A lot of Mike Evans questions going into this one here, Adam, but that's probably what most people are going to be watching for. We know Bucky Irving, if you have him, you're more than likely starting him. Baker Mayfield kind of needs a bounce back game for this Buccaneers team. It hasn't been good between him just not playing well. Emeka Egbuka has not been playing well. Both are at fault for some things there when we look at them. This will be the first time this year, though, we've seen Chris Godwin, Emeka Egbuka, Mike Evans on the field at the same time, which is kind of crazy. But Mayfield, we've said it before. We think that he's just banged up. He's got the knee injury. He's got the oblique. He's got the shoulder. There's a lot going on. He's completed 54.3% of his passes when we're looking at it. So it's not been very good. Egbuka's had some bad drops, catchable target rate also down as well. So expectations let's start with the Bucs wide receivers. Like, are you ranking Mike Evans ahead of Egbuka going into this Thursday night game?
Yeah, I think I am at this point. Because even if he's limited, I think that you'll see him get a a good amount of high leverage targets in the red zone. And again, Egbuka has struggled. I do think Egbuka bounces back tonight, though. I think having Evans back,
I would love that.
I think having Evans back certainly will help, right? He's going to get more defensive attention. It'll open things up for Egbuka. It'll take some pressure off him. They asked him to be in a massive role as a rookie.
Mm-hmm.
And, he was thriving early on. And then maybe it's a little too much at this point. A lot of pressure on him. Again, Baker Mayfield is at fault too. There's been a lot of bad throws. There have been drops by Egbuka, so it's a combination of factors. So I feel like a lot of people just want to bail on Egbuka at this point. But he still had big volume, and I still think he's going to be productive and have a good game tonight. Again, the coaching staff has talked him up, saying we believe in him, and we just need to get him some easy targets. So he's definitely catching a pass on the first drive.
Let's do that. We've got our projections at fantasylife.com. Projected targets for each. Mike Evans sitting at 8. Emeka Egbuka sitting at 8. Chris Godwin sitting at 6. Xfinity best projections. 18.2 for Mike Evans. 18.7 for Emeka Egbuka. And 14.8 for Chris Godwin. Other side of this matchup here, Adam, it's probably just what Kyle Pitts, Bijan Robinson season, right? Tyler Algier it's not been the same to like we talked about weeks ago where we said flex position, go ahead and do it because he's been, getting those goal line carries, everything else like that. Expectations on the other side with Kirk Cousins in this offense.
Yeah, that's it. It's Bijan. You hope that he gets involved heavily in the passing game. He had a big week against Tampa in week 1, receiving wise. They definitely struggle against pass catching running backs. They're solid against the run. Bijan had 6 for 100 receiving in week 1 with a touchdown. Last week, Bijan only had 2 catches for 8 yards, which is just that's criminal activity. That cannot be allowed to happen. You got to get Bijan the ball in the passing game. So Atlanta will be competitive in this game. Because I can't see Tampa blowing anyone out right now with the way they're playing.
Now. Maybe this is the game that they start to turn it around, but I think Kyle Pitts can be the difference maker for Falcons. If they really are trying to upset them, it'll be him and Bijan Robinson like we've seen in 3 games without Drake London. Pitts has a team-high 15 receptions, 197 yards. No other Falcon has more than 9 catches or 96 receiving yards in that stretch. So he's going to be an interesting option here. I think that definitely go check out our rankings because he is someone that you might be starting ahead of some other guys, especially when we've seen those flex questions today, Adam. Go check out our rankings, fantasylife.com. Everything else is there as well. Our articles are 100% free, newsletter 100% free, and those projections that we just talked about and rankings are over there as well. Good luck tonight. We're going to try and answer these questions here on X as well. We'll see you same time here tomorrow.